Hey, so have you guys ever made something and then years later look back to see that you could have made it way better? There are plenty of people that feel the same way. And I am not one of them. Instead of regretting my life decisions every few years, I regret mine every 2 weeks. This is famously why my friends and family know that I don't have tattoos. Yes, surprise, trivia. Sofa doesn't have tattoos. I'm not opposed to them, I just straight up know that I want to draw my own, and then after, I would feel like an idiot. Because I would know that I could draw it way better. The examples of me trying this are right here in some of my already completed artwork. Look back at my Spider-Verse experiment with Leap. It was a great piece, and I was super proud of it. Afterwards, I saw different things that I wish I had done better, but could live with. This led me to wanting to do another piece like it, so I made Adrenaline. The same thing happened during Wasteland with Daybreak and Divide. These weren't one-to-one recreations of the artwork, and the resulting feel for each one is different. With Leap and Adrenaline, my favorite out of the two is Adrenaline, because the energy and detail was much more explosive. However, with Daybreak and Divide, Daybreak gives the most feeling. It means the most to me in that moment. Regardless of what I prefer, the bottom line is that the feeling in the back of my overly perfectionist mind says, I can do better. This sets the stage for something long overdue here that I've been dying to try. Time for a Redux. To be very clear, this is much more different than any of the edits that I did to my holiday DTRAS attempts. I define these in completely different lights. So, an edit is when I can take the previous piece of art I created and manipulate the different existing assets to either add or enhance details. What I call a Redux is an entire recreation of an art piece from the ground up. It's a reattempt at capturing not only the feel of the art, but the look in general. There can definitely be more liberties taken to add further context and, in some cases, massive conceptual overhauls. This increases the already existing presentation of the previous artwork. Let's scroll down here and I'll show you guys an old art piece from like 3-ish years ago, maybe 4, I don't know. This was back when I was getting my footing for doing digital art again. I've said in other videos that I have been an artist since as far back as I can remember. But digital art is something that took a bit of ingenuity to get into. That's because of the transference of skills. Side note, being an artist both is and is not universal. Let me explain. So, I was a traditional artist for most of my life. It's to the point where it's so ingrained in me that even though I've been consistently doing digital art for, 3 years, traditional sketching still comes more naturally to me than digital. I honestly don't know if that means I'm a better traditional artist than a digital one, but I do know that I wouldn't have been able to pick up digital art as quickly as I did if I didn't have fundamental skills built up from being a traditional artist. Just because you're a painter doesn't mean you're immediately going to be a digital artist with no effort. It does, however, mean that you will be able to pick it up much more quickly than someone with no experience with art. What I'm saying is, these skills from medium to medium are completely transferable. Learning color theory as a marker color artist means you know color theory, period. All that's left is learning the basics of the medium you choose next. I may not be as good of a traditional painter as I am with traditional sketching or digital art, but I have a head start because I've been in the art space already. Any of you who think that you're not good enough at the art you do now, so there's no way you can try a different medium, you're lying to yourself. Crossing art mediums is a great way to deepen your own understanding of art in general. You might learn the basics of a new medium, then get wrapped up in trying to produce something you're used to, only to learn or teach yourself something brand new in the process. Art is exploration. Don't put yourself in a box. So this is Fall Girl. Yep, basic name, I know. I wasn't coming up with like elaborate names for everything back then. I'd just be drawing, bro. It was the fall season and I was excited to do some fall inspired art, so I figured why not? It's a real simple piece of art, so it was just some quick fun. But now we have a different goal. We're taking Fall Girl and putting much more into her Redux. I'm thinking more background elements like a walking path, better defined trees, better leaves, and other stuff. I'm gonna walk you guys through how we do this, and we'll do some yapping along the way. We're gonna start with a sketch of our Fall Girl, and not be too detailed with it here. We're not trying to get distracted with all the different extra things, just get the basics in. All the extra stuff is for the rendering phase later. I say this, but I actually think that I'm probably going to get distracted and want to do this a different way. Ooh. Well, while we're talking about sketching, side note, sketching takes forever. Yes, even for me. A few weeks back, I talked about having a sketch backlog, and I'm honestly thankful for it because sometimes I get wrapped up in drawing things. Getting stuck in that sketching mood is great. It's like I'm getting a bunch of the heavy work out of the way first. I'm so serious when saying that because it usually takes the longest out of everything else because you're testing all the shapes of things, the angles, and the blending and stuff. If you're going full on blend mode on it. Don't get me wrong, I love it. I love the entirety of that, but compared to the coloring, ugly, and rendering phase, yes, I annotated the ugly phase as an actual phase. You gotta understand, I know it's gonna happen every time. I can't ignore it. It feels like there's so much space to fill. You know, when you're comparing all the different phases, it just feels like there's a ton of space to fill. It's probably because until the sketch is done, there is no framework. But once you're past that, everything has a place and you can start organizing. Maybe this is just me and my weird ass brain, but I don't know. I'm trying to provide that knowledge for everybody, okay? I just want to get the info out there. After finishing our sketch, we're going to use a stolen art secret from Sam and paint in our background immediately. The reason we do this is because we want the environment built and light sources set so that we know how our light and our subject are going to interact. Thanks, Sam. We'll be showcasing plenty more of your secrets soon. Honestly, the background is kind of the star of the show anyway, so let's make this real simple for everybody. We're going to paint in the basic colors for the background, the sky, and the trees on different layers. Why? Because I said that's why. Also, for full transparency, I did visually skip getting my vanishing point and everything situated. I know what I'm doing this time, okay? So, figure yours out. Figure yours out, okay? Figure it out. Anyway, after that, we get to start painting in the details like shadow, colors, and textures. This is where a good bit of that wasteland study info comes in handy because we know how to draw some trees. Without the leaves, I guess. So let's do that real quick. I'm going to teach you guys something real fast that I personally use when making new locations come to life. Look right here. This space on the ground is empty. I want a rock. Let's do a quick asset creation. Assets in digital art are things that have been made with versatility in mind to, basically reuse and make reusing easier. I've talked about it before when telling you guys that I have a whole asset document within Procreate. When doing these, we're not really too focused on lighting and shading. Those things are variables based on where we were going to place them in the first place. The rock to the right and the rock to the left are going to look completely different because of the lighting. So we're going to skip that step until we're fully done placing them. Our main shadows should be apparent, so we'll place just a bit, but not a ton. From the same direction of that shadow, we're going to texture the rock. Keep in mind, this will look off until we add the lighting, but we're almost there. Now that we've created our base rock asset, let's make a few more based off the first. Rocks are shaped differently, so I'm going to copy this one and flip it. Now I have a variation. Mirror image copies of your assets look kind of lazy in my opinion. There's a few more steps that you can take to alter these and give them more presence. Make a copy of that flipped asset and either manipulate it via size, shape, or both. Maybe do what I'm doing and paint in some different ridges and alter the textures, or anything like that. You have the base, so you can take it and make as many rocks as you want. This is a quick way to experiment with making things in the background fill the space with variability. After you've made all the assets, place them in your scene, merge those layers together, and now you can start adding in your lighting. Remember, based on your art, you probably have multiple types of lighting being emitted from the environment. That's why Sam's art secret makes so much sense here. We're not just applying it to our main subject, we're applying it to the objects around them as well. The various types of lighting will make these more set in place. All that we just talked about was a prelude to how we're going to color our subject. Luckily, we don't need to make multiple versions of her, but we're using another stolen art secret from Sam. We're going to pick a base color for her, and we're going to fill her in using the multiply blend mode on a new layer. Now that we have a silhouette to work from, create layers above this and select the clipping mask as the function. On each of these layers, we're going to paint in the solid color of each major object within that silhouette. There, now we have a workspace for each major item to add in details. We're going to do that and work our way into being ready to merge. Once we merge, there's no going back. I mean, there is, but who wants to do that? We're moving forward, so be ready to commit. This is where we again get to evolve an artist's technique and add it in something that helps us make it our own. Before you merge, group those layers for our subject together and then duplicate them.
Oh my god!
Looks a bit scary, I know, but make the group below invisible and everything goes back to normal. The visible group on top is our working layer. Merge and throw caution to the wind.
But Sova, you made a safety net. You're a cheater! He cheated!
No, that's not why that group is down there. Open that group but keep it invisible. Use the select function on the item that you want to start adding more detail into. Once you've done that, go back to our working layer and continue painting. You have now made this space into what I call a color map. Say you have details that you only want to add to the hair or to the shirt due to texturing and stuff, and you don't want to go back to the selection process again. Just use the color map. And when you don't want to use it, like for adding lighting across your entire subject, don't. This gives us versatility across the entire piece based on how you've separated your colors. You might actually have to edit and erase aspects of your color map, but it's okay because it served its purpose. Add in those finishing touches for your art and you're done.
Sofa, you know a lot about Sam Does Art for somebody who's supposed to be studying Ergo Josh.
Oh, you sweet summer child, how foolish of you. Did you honestly think that Josh was the only artist I was studying? Actually, did you think that Josh was the first I was studying? Or that I had only started studying him this year? Doesn't matter, because either way, you'd be wrong. I've only verbally started saying that I was studying Josh this year, but the truth of this is that I've been studying Josh, Sam, and Ross for a lot longer than that. What, you want proof? The image of me invading Sam's privacy to learn his art secrets back in 2023 wasn't enough for you? I'm a chaotic problem, I know. We'll talk more about the art secrets from Sam, Josh, and maybe even Ross some other time. But let's check out the final results for our art piece. This is Fall Girl Redux.